Alright, so in this one, we are going to react into Slack X's video here of the generational run of Ultra Namek Goku. This released a few days ago. And curiosity, is he going to go glaze mode on him like every single person on the planet? Given he deserves a lot of glaze, but like there's like levels to this shit, right? Or is he going to go realistic mode? So I want to hear what Slack X thinks as the favorite fan of Goku
from his initial release.
Why not another yellow
Ultra Super Saiyan Namek Goku seems to be shaping up to be one of, if not just the single best aging unit, as well as most valuable unit of all time.
Currently one of USG, higher livelihood, right? USG was not 18 months, but USG was like, what, 15, 16 months that he was like those top tiers. UMV is about the same where Namek Goku is, but in turn, I believe UMV had a lot more to put up against, right? There's a lot of reds trying to drop around. Red Miniku for a good example there. Broly, while he was underwhelming, he was still a red that tried to drop. They were reds trying to halt UMV's coexistence, and clearly they failed. I don't think Namek Goku has had such a suffrage point. I mean, UV4 and Buhan for sure, those are talking points, but like, has he had that much oppression against him? I would say UMV probably had more, but really it's not that much more. It's kind of even. So this guy probably is like top 3 right now within aging of all time.
Despite a multitude of stronger releases with much higher stats and damage guard, nothing was successful in kicking him out of the meta. In fact, he only continues to gain more value with every Saiyan or Sun family character that comes out. The most recent example
he gains value with every unit ever that comes out. It ain't just Saiyans.
Being LR Super Vegito, which paved the way to giving birth to yet again the best team in the game, which Namek Goku has been.
Bro, this was made 3 days ago. Super Saiyan 4's already had their buffs. Hello? What? Okay, I guess we're going for glaze mode here. No. Namek Slop, that is what that team is there. Just to go back a little bit here. Hold on. I went back too far. Hold on.
The most recent example being LR Super Vegito, which paved the way to giving birth to yet again.
This was never, has never, will never be the best team in the game. I'm sorry, man. It never was. It's Vegito 1v3 because he's the only glazed character here. You could argue Gohan for some points. Never. Never was this ever a best team in the game. It's the most used team because, I mean, look at the characters. It's Namek Goku 7th tier, Gohan Legends Fest, and Vegito. Like, no shit. It's most used. Most used? I'm going to give you the equivalency here of this. Most used does not slashing through the equal sign here does not equal best. No. I mean it. My whole heart.
Team in the
I always hear that this was the best. It never was.
Been responsible for over 4.
First one, yeah. You actually ran Kaioken on that instead, which, funny enough, it's funny how Namek Goku works. He's never been the best unit in the game. If I recall correctly, a lot of people had Frieza or Kaioken or whatever #1 during that time, and then from there he never could be #1 because numerics are happening and blah blah blah. He was actually never #1, so the fact that he is aging so well while never being the best is kind of hilarious to me. That UV4 one, why do I not remember that? Why do I not remember that at all? Am I dumb? Maybe I just forgot. I don't know. Part 1 Legends Fest, Part 2 Legends Fest actually right there within that third one. Man, people were still double Zenko-buffing Namek Goku back then. You were double Zenko-buffing Namek Goku to all these? Brother, I would not be double Zenko-buffing Namek Goku. He is numerical to that point. By Legends Fest, just glaze the others, bro. Put like double on SG, put fucking Blue Pan. Fuck Namek Goku, just use him as his, utility safety. I don't know about that third and second. Maybe I'm just dumb. I think the second I'm more confident. But the first, fourth is definitely very high usage teams. Again, this guy was never #1, which is just the funniest part to me about him.
Now. At this point, it almost feels like nothing can remove this guy from the meta. So for this video, we're going to take a closer look at the absolute generational run.
Couple days, please. Well, actually next week, sorry.
While also evaluating his future longevity and come up with some creative ways to counter him. So that just maybe we could finally see this character fall off.
I'll give you a cooking right here. KO Guard notification, not now, within a new, when the remake happens of Battle of Gods, Ultra Beerus, KO Guard notification, Revival notification Beerus. Blue Beerus was a menace doing that against Revhons and Coolers and movies, essentially, when he first released, and he was really fucking slept on and very good. Actually, he was pretty highly regarded in the JP queue only, and European queue, actually. He just wasn't in NA queue. People didn't give a fuck about Blue Beerus because he was frail, but, like, he did his job, right? Give us that, just new. KO Guard nullification, revival, maybe not full nullification or revival, sure, but, like, 80% health. They only, they lose, they don't gain back on their revival state or some bullshit. Endurance null on every attack. Give us that from a Beerus within the remake in like October, November, because it happens in the fall. That's what I want to see. This guy, he'll get numerical by then, but still,
Alright, so before we dive into this guy's entire history, let's break down the key details as to what makes him so broken, and why it's nearly impossible for this character to age out. Starting off with the main reason why this character is so valuable. KO Guard. A mechanic that grants any character in the game a second life, as long as you have Namek Goku on your team. You can lock and snipe somebody with an ult, Rising Rush, or even get a cheap kill off of paralysis. It doesn't matter, because as soon as the opponent's character is defeated, Namek Goku is going to swoop in and save them. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe if I go after Namek Goku first, then I won't have to worry about that pesky KO Guard. Wrong. Namek Goku also has comeback if he's the one to die first.
He technically gains more health when he's the one that gets his KO Guard popped instead of someone else getting it popped on them, I'm pretty sure. Like, you usually would... It's probably a bad play now because he'll take so much damage inflicted, but I don't think people even know that. I'm pretty sure his kid is... He gets it popped, he gets... I don't know if it's 100% health back, but it's more health than when he gets someone else popped on KO Guard, which, pretty neat.
So it doesn't really matter what order you go in. The opponent is always guaranteed another chance in the fight. The second reason why he's so valuable is his
Again, let me just say about Namek Goku right now, just totality's sake. Yes, they're guaranteeing another chance in the fight. But again, you are doing something inherently bad to yourself when you are running Namek Goku in the modern era. He is, again, numerical. He is, again, not having the greatest defenses and offenses, which is going to be problematic for you. You will lose games because you are trying to force KO Guard on your team, but in that same turn, you are making it where you essentially, because just how numericals have worked since this new philosophy has, if you're like 4 to 5 months old, you're kind of starting to get where a weird spot happens where you're not really idealistic anymore. It's starting to change, but during this guy's time, it definitely was not changing. This guy makes it a lot of the times in fights where you are in a 2v3. While he can help you and grant you success, clearly, he will also make it where you will lose because you have someone that is not doing enough damage, that is not doing enough within any respective defense, and you just lose because he was there instead of a competent third that does more numerics better, better mechanics for the current era. I'm just saying, as he is still in a generational run, as he is being stated here, he is still a flaw to you, not just omnipotence, where it's like, there's no negative to him. UMV, you couldn't think of a negative with him, even if they were, like, mono red running around. You just couldn't think of a negative to running UMV, because he has everything kit. Namek Goku doesn't have a full everything kit, so there will be negatives just inherently, no matter what. Even when UMV is starting to get numericaled, it still wasn't fully killing him until, like, the big numerical of Saiyan Saga happened. But still, during 7th year part 1, UMV was still being used, and like that, and that's when the stuff was happening. So it's a little bit crazy.
When the gauge fills up, he heals himself, gives health and extra damage to the entire team, and lowers the opponent's damage on blues and ultimates. But the real crazy stuff happens when you reset his gauge by using a card, which gives him 50 ki, 2 cards if you only have 1 in your hand, extra damage and card draw speed, and the most important of all, he locks your opponent in for 3 counts. Being able to lock a character in will always be
value more than Bardock. He's consistent, if nothing else. His utility is consistent.
Because there are almost no effective ways to counter it.
There is none.
Unless characters are specifically designed
Who even has a lock-in counter?
Like Ultra Zamasu.
Yes. I forgot.
We'll talk about later. There are so many opportunities where you can use this lock-in to your advantage.
The generational run thing's a little bit of a facade now. I just recognized Red MZ existed. This guy was not being touched during Red MZ, was he? It was literally just CMZ, MZ13, was it not? I mean, I'm sure Namek Goku was still top 10 talks, but like it definitely was like the lower spectrum of it. This is why I kind of like the UMV comparison, because UMV really didn't fall below any top tier spectrum. He's not USG tier, Namek Goku. He's not there yet. Has not had enough time in the game. to be there. But the UMV comparison is really nice because Red MZ was number one for a lot of people, and then, well, what the fuck was this guy doing? Even if you were running, because there's no Gohan at this point, right? This is before Gohan, and it's after Namekoku's release, a lot of months. What were you doing with Namekoku at that point? You were going to use KO Guard against Red MZ, who was just 2-carding him? You know what I mean? So again, this guy has a very high run, but again, I think there's just a little bit of over sauce and glaze on his name that goes on.
The most common scenario being locking in someone with the gauge and then rushing them. And that's not even all, because it gets even crazier when you fill up his gauge twice, which gives him 20 counts of type neutral on entry and permanent endurance null for 5 counts.
20 counts type neutral. Sir?
Which gives him 20 counts
Sir, that
of
says
type
5.
Neutral on entry and permanent endurance
Sir, that's 5.
null for
Hello?
5 counts.
Trolling!
The last 2 broken abilities this character has to offer is, of course, his AoE green and his blue card, which has a chance to inflict feign.
But if you're immune, it don't matter. I know one guy
life,
who is.
Lock in, AoE green, and can inflict feign.
Yup.
They gave this guy pretty much every ability you would want on a character. Now that we're all caught up on
Not
what
enough
this guy can
consistent
do,
overall neutral.
let's finally take
like
a deeper
UMV has
look
within
at
his
his
gauge green card.
generational run.
Same thing.
Ultra Goku would debut for the first time alongside Ultra Full Power Frieza for the Part 3 of the 7th anniversary.
Terrible.
Making this the first
Great
celebration
character
in this game's
choices.
history
Terrible.
to feature 2 headlining Ultra
Terrible
characters.
meta. You know.
Oh yeah, and Krillin was there too. Can't forget about him.
He was the glue, bro. Frieza Saga
And Krillin.
was...
However, despite how hype and historic
Daima,
this moment was for the game, these
same
2
premise.
demons would go on to heavily disrupt the game's balance and negatively impacting the overall health of the meta.
Those are already negative.
Namek Saga instantly became top tier and was one of the most miserable teams you could go up against. Goku and Frieza would combo you for almost 20 million years.
Let me restate for... If you didn't play then, which why the fuck are you playing now? I have no idea. Frieza was... And if he ever became a top tier meta relevant like Namekoku has remained for most of his life, ever becomes that same vibe, you will recognize that he is more toxic. Just because Namek has aged better does not make him more toxic. With my whole heart, I'll say it a billion times, people like to pretend like it's Namekoku. No, let's just say you don't fight Frieza, because he's not relevant right now. But if he became relevant, you would see it. Shit, right now, if you were to run A-tier boost of Frieza, you would be overjoyed with how much of a piece of shit you are being to your opponent because of how toxic Frieza still can be effectiveness, even with only 40% extra damage inflicted. Right now, you could do that. It wouldn't even be a fucking flaw. It's pretty fucking easy, actually, right now. Especially with Ultra Super Saiyan 4, you can kind of work around his gauge within your beams, and you really just ignore Forku's Disrupt, and that's really fucking amazing. Like, if there was toxic on this team, it goes 1, Frieza, 2, Namekoku, and then 3, obviously Krillin. But if Kaioken were here, it'd be Namekoku. Actually, at least toxic. Kaioken's gauge and defenses were way too toxic to deal with.
And would also completely melt through anyone's health bar.
Which again was used
Starting
more
a
than
combo against
Saga.
this team was nearly impossible thanks to Frieza, who constantly increases your arts cost and lowers ki when you hit him for the first time on entry. And thanks to the amazing sub-count manipulation this team has, you'd see this scenario play out every 5 seconds. Krillin being the ultimate support battery for the team by giving extra damage,
Cool, but less toxic.
guard,
It's just that the other two are so
much
toxic.
Healing,
It's like a
to the point
reverse.
where the team would be at max health almost every second. It was so horrible. And the worst thing of all, this team nearly power crept almost every other character that came out before it.
Except
even rendering some of the prior
Kaioken.
anniversary units completely
They put A+ there, bro. You weren't running A+. What the fuck you running A+ for? Frieza exists. Also
All
Reigns
the
green.
unique variety
PO.
of team building completely disappeared and was replaced by an extremely stagnant meta, where nearly every single match
We talking about part 2 or part 3? Because this is the same shit as part 2, by the way.
featured the exact same.
7th
lineup.
year sucked ass.
The state of the game
Reminder.
was very unpleasant. But like always, things were only going to get worse.
Especially part 1
Thanks
character
to
choices.
another Ultra that would drop in August to cause even more chaos.
Wasn't Frieza run with him as well?
Ultra
Frieza
Super
Double
Saiyan
Force
4
was the team, wasn't it?
Vegeta.
Thought it was for a
Thanks
time.
to the release of this Ultra, he would help pave the way for what was about to become the second worst meta of 2025, right behind Daima. The triple Ultra team. Pure suffering is honestly the most fitting way to describe how oppressive and annoying
This
it
was
to
infinite
face this team.
combos.
UV4
Now
only
this was
contributed
infinite.
to making
Get his
the long
gauge.
combo
Boom, boom,
problem
boom, boom,
even
boom,
worse,
beam, boom, boom,
thanks
boom,
to
boom,
the
boom.
fact that you can just continuously keep drawing cards when his unique gauge changes to release type, while also doing so much damage on top of it. He also introduced a brand new mechanic
You won't talk
called
about how
Switch
toxic
Attack,
UV4 is.
and
I'm not
this,
gonna
combined with
lie.
Namek
No one
Goku's
fucking talks
lock-in,
about that.
was lethal. All you had to do was lock someone in with a Goku, and then switch to UV4 right after to get a ton of damage off from his kick, which is also type neutral, by the way. And then Frieza still being Frieza, you already know how retarded this character is. It was borderline impossible to win against this lineup. The damage and combos were just too much. Frieza and UV4 both having endurance and buff cancellation, as well
This
as
is
being
a
able
Namek
to
Goku
increase your
video, by
arch
the way.
cost when you touch them,
I can't
which
tell
basically
right now.
prevented any player from being able to do anything. And even if you somehow managed to kill one of these guys, remember, Namek Goku always has his KO guard in his back pocket. And all of the other BS.
Again, this is where I
green.
wouldn't say, like, it's getting to the point where he's, like, not relevant numerically, because he's still relevant. It's only been a few months. But, like, this is a team, for example, where it's, like, he's more utility than he is anything else. And that's kind of where you can argue, let me just slot this guy or that guy and see if they give me more value. Despite no KO guard, I kind of slot him around. This is where I start to think where it's like, there's a really strong red. Why don't I just try to not run my yellow for a little bit of time here? Even though he has his safety and he has his greatness for that, why not just try to slot him out? This is where I kind of think it starts to change, where he kind of starts his decline. And, you know, it goes up, obviously, within a purple, blah, blah, blah. But, like, he's like a little roller coaster, Namek Goku, I would say, within his, you know, longevity, I would say.
Blue. Things that further added to the toxicity. Overall, just a completely terrible time to even play this game. And it didn't help that support would shortly be released after, an extremely scummy pay-to-win system that was hated by the entire community. And the fact that the promised quote-unquote new design philosophy was a complete failure as well. It was a really low point for the game. But luckily, things would actually start to take a turn for the positive when Ultra Zamasu released, alongside LF Zamasu getting a plat equipment.
I guess it was more positive than negative. It's pretty low fucking standard, but, you know, I guess. I guess
the era
it's
of powerful opponent
positive.
has begun. Both Zamasus were absolute powerhouses, with their damage being able to be even further amplified when paired with Android 13, who provided exceptional support to any ally. And thanks to Ultra Zamasu being purple, and LF Zamasu being red, Goku and Frieza finally had proper counters to keep them in check. LF Zamasu became the most tanky and highest damage dealer in the entire game. No character could get through his defenses, nor survive a combo from him. As for Ultra Zamasu, he was given an ability that bypasses Namek Goku's lock-in, by being able to seal his cards for 3 counts whenever it's activated. This team was simply too powerful for Namek Goku, and frankly any other Saiyan character to handle.
See, this is what I mean. People ask, how do you kill Namek Goku? Well, here was a team that you didn't even fucking fight Namek Goku. And it's just a strong red. Like, that's all it was. Again, this year has more so been, well, this past 12 months, has more so been equipments fixing things and, like, I guess, amplifying or changing, if not positive or negative, whatever, neutral metas, that has been actually new units. You know, we have Red MZ who did this shit because CMZ clearly wanted the red partner, or he would have been still Namek Goku's little fucking food, even without, you know, the lock-in. And then you have Forku now doing what he did for Old Super Saiyan 4, where now here's a different duo that's running around in PvP besides Namek Slop fucking trio. The equipments have done more value to the game than the fucking new units, and it's been consistent, and it's like, I don't even know what that even is for. Like, why is that even the case?
Still a very strong character in his own right. He definitely saw less usage than ever before.
Come on.
And honestly, to this day, this meta was the closest Goku has ever come to truly falling off.
I mean,
it still isn't saying much because people would still run him next to Ultra Zamasu and Red Zamasu anyway.
Who the fuck ran that team?
Any other meta had done.
Who the
But of
fuck
course, the era of the
gaslit?
villains wouldn't even last a month, thanks to the new festival headliner units that were introduced.
Why did he show Diamond there? What?
The new best team in the game was born, featuring Namek Goku for the third time now,
but he was off for a little bit.
The best units in the game, extra safety. On top of one of them already having a revival.
Also, this is Legends Fest Part 2. During Part 1, Red MZ I'm pretty sure Red MZ was still frying, CMZ 13. People are still using them. Again, usually within part ones, the pre-celebration units are still getting run crazy because, like, the part one can't power creep everybody in the world. Within, like, 7th year, here's, I think it was, like, Green Mini Coup and whatever the fuck else was being used beforehand. Versus Blue UI and all that bullshit. And same thing here. People are still running the CMZ, MZ shit until part 2 happened. So he just skipped over part 1, but part 2 happened, and then this happened. But part 1, yeah, that's like a month or 2 span where we're just kind of glossing over a little bit here, where he's not really the one to run. He's not really being run that often. Now he's back to it now, and within this kind of sequence here, all the way till. But he really wasn't the guy for a little bit of time. Again, I understand he's had a very good run, but I also gotta put out there he's not just omnipotent to run. He's struggling Bowden a little bit. He's a little UV4. He he was a little struggling against Kaiba Ken during 7th year. Obviously, he was still running with him. He was still struggling versus him. Red and MZ. I mean, it's a little teeter-totter. So just keep that in note.
Being Gohan, so of course he gets extra glaze by the devs and has the most broken kit ever. Gohan glaze combined with 2 extra lives.
Where's the glaze?
And
not even a Zenkai buff? Holy
both
shit,
of these
what
characters have AoE green cards. If Hell was specifically designed for each person, then this meta would be my version of it.
7th year?
This father and son duo
I'd rather this
together
for
is so
7th year, bro.
insufferable.
Come on.
And they are still being used at the time I'm recording this video. In fact, this original festival team is going to evolve by having a much more powerful character that replaces Gogeta to form an even more unbearable version of it. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Bad?
Because we can't skip over when Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku released. Remember how terrified and angry the entire community was once we saw this character's abilities for the first time?
No, I was thinking about his animation.
Thank God, a lot of extra damage, defense, and his endurance was restricted by needing to run another GT ally next to him to unlock it. Because this team could have easily been a top 5 worst meta in this game's history. Just imagine Rush Nullification, Gohan Glaze, Revive, triple AoE Green, an attack that damages you on switching, and KO guard.
He forgot Destructive Ultra 4Q! That's the worst part about him.
Just because this Goku was restricted,
fuck the Rush.
That didn't mean you couldn't run these guys on the same team. All you needed was a strong GT ally like UV4. Now you've just given the 2 most dominant ultras in the game an extra life.
Dynamic.
On top of them already having rush safety. Is it finally starting to click just how stupid Namek Goku is? Anytime a new Saiyan or Sun family character comes out, which is going to be all the time because they're the most hyped characters and make the game the most amount of money, people are going to use this character for that extra protection.
Correct.
And fast forwarding a few months towards the present day, absolutely nothing has changed. And instead of Gogeta being on the OG Fest lineup, now the Superior Fusion has taken his place. A completely brand new rarity type. And dear lord, does he do so much damage. And I'm sure most people watching this video have already ran into this team way more times than they would have liked. This character has caused irreversible damage to team building as a whole.
I agree with that.
Whatever new dominant Saiyan or Sun family character that comes out or gets a buff is now going to be infinitely more difficult to deal with. So with all that being said, what is the solution to properly countering this character?
We already had it. Just drop a strong red that people actually summon for. Maybe like Bardock should have been red. Imagine Bardock was red, then you're running into Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Ultra Goku, and Red Bardock, and that was a trio you were going to fight instead of people having to debate Namek Goku or Bardock right now. Bardock's same kit is red. Top 3. Top 3. Not even a fucking thought in my brain. He's top 3. It's not even a fucking question. Best team in the game is both 4s with Bardock. The fact that he's yellow, he has to debate with someone else that's already yellow, already doing a more consistent job. If he were red, he wouldn't have to debate him because he'd be fucking killing him so quickly. Just drop a strong red that people summon for. This ain't no rocket science. There ain't nothing else he could say that's like, you have to do this. Yeah, if you want KO notification, fucking have it. But like, drop a strong red. Red MZ already existed. People owned Red MZ. Guess what? Namek Goku's being a lot less run. He was hardly even fucking run at that time for like a month or 2. Same fucking bullshit here. It's the same exact thing. Okay, MZ got power creep. Okay, let's drop another strong red then. Let's not fuck them over within a fucking Gohan blue. You know what I mean? Because if Gohan weren't blue, Red MZ would have still been fucking vibing for a couple more months there. So if they just weren't brain dead, he wouldn't be run.
Saiyans are always going to remain relevant in the meta, and will continue to be
Thank you,
released more
Angels.
frequently than any other character. But that doesn't mean Goku is going to stay relevant
He won't.
forever. And after giving it some thought, I believe I've come up with the perfect solution
Strong red.
that could
That's
realistically
popular.
put an end to his reign once and
Strong
for
red
all.
that's popular.
And that's a character who nullifies second life mechanics. We've seen
Sure,
something like this implemented
it's
into the
overdone,
game
but
once
sure.
before, and that was Sparking Blue
It's
Beerus that
overdoing it,
released
bro.
in 2022. Whenever you use the blue card on a revival character, it would completely nullify it and kill them as if they've never had it to begin with.
Yup.
So why
Like I
not just
mentioned.
make a newer version of this character and allow
What?
him to
I might be a
nullify both
genius.
Revive and KO Guard, killing two birds with one stone, and effectively putting an
Again,
end to this second
it's a
life
little bit
nonsense for Goku.
overdoing it to make anti-full both mechanics. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. KO Guard, I get it. You're pressed about Nameku. Fine, whatever. Let's do a KO Guard. It's one character, bro. Like, who gives a fuck? But Revive, we're gonna fuck over all these characters because one character with a different mechanic is giving you problem. Like, it makes no sense to have the anti-revival thing. Like, sure, have an anti-revive aspect, but like fucking fully nullify both. That's really overdoing it to me.
We could get a legend or even an Ultra Beerus that's red, that does extra damage towards Saiyans, and has a lock-in blue. So once you catch Namegoku locking in
Golly, how
combo,
simple do you need to
he
make
has
it? A
no
lock
chance
in
of
blue, more to
escaping.
say. God,
And we also
how
gotta
much
make sure he
simpler
has
do you
type
think this
control
is?
so he
Like
can
LF
effectively
Cooler
deal with this
spot?
rat as well. Beerus
Shit!
also needs to have multiple defensive tools against Namegoku's
Oh my
other
God!
abilities. Like
We're
guard
going through the fucking park on our stroller trying to get the easy mode. Nullify A-League Greed. Damage to them. Lock in them. Holy shit! It ain't that bad, bro. If Namegoku was like doing the numerics of a number one unit, sure, I get it. But like, bro, he is hitting like a bitch. He defends like shit. He is not such a flaw to where you gotta do all this for him. Holy shit, this is too much.
AoE Greens
It's overdone.
and anti-lock-in like Zamasu. That right there is how
That's
you
just not
effectively
necessary.
take out Namegoku. Make it to where anything he tries to do is utterly futile. It's honestly really crazy to see how well this character is aged.
That's
because
funny.
with how bad power creep has gotten over the years, it's really rare for a unit to last even 3 months now,
Yeah.
let alone almost an entire year. I'm really curious how
They like
the
the color
future of this
counter, that's
character's
why.
lifespan is going to play out. And if this character is still usable even after the anniversary, then he's going to surpass Ultra Super Gogeta's aging.
USG was a year and a half, brother. Almost a year and a half, like 16 months. Year and a half, not just a year and a half almost. So let's calm that fucking shit down now. That's crazy, Glaze. Not just he doesn't have to make it past 8th year. Goku. He has to make it past a couple months into 8th year. So he's got some time, bruh.
Take
That's like
the
6
crown for
months.
Best aging Ultra in this game's history.
Unit.
I literally said this character was going to be the best aging Ultra like 3 months ago. And my prediction is aging like fine wine. But anyways,
Good
let me know what you
self-glaze.
guys think is going to happen. Because the anniversary is right around the corner, which is going to be the true test for Ultra Namegoku.
Imagine this ages
But with all that
terribly,
being
and
said,
then just red Ultra
thank you so
Frieza
much for
drops and
watching.
just kills him
Hope you have a
completely.
blessed day, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Fascinating video, but for sure he is I don't know, probably top 3 best aging units. I mean, if it's an Ultra, it usually is just one of the best aging units ever within, like, a UMV type of character. This guy, USG has had it because he was the first, and they literally just forced it because we didn't get shit against him for a long time. But yeah, no, he is one of the best aging. Again, there's a little bit of overglazed in every single time I hear about Namegoku, because it's like, oh, he's just such a force that you have to be wary of the entire. Again, there's times he's going to lose you the fights. Again, the older he gets, the more likely he actually will lose you than help you win the fight. Whether you go to timers right now because of what the meta is going to become with the double fours and Bardock and all of them that people are running, whether it be because he's just not doing enough damage and you can't kill them and they kill you because he's so frail because his numerics are older. There is ways that he is not helping you, especially, again, here's the red units that existed, Red MZ primarily, who just, you didn't fight him really at all. Definitely a good run, but I put him again below UMV at this point, because when he actually had oppression state of Red MZ, rather, he folded. He folded under the pressure. You were not fighting this character, and UMV did not fold under any pressure until he literally got fucking clobbered by Kaioken, and it's like, all right, bro, like, I concede. Because everyone, the entire game, got crushed by Kaioken. So how the fuck is UMV not going to when he's fucking yellow? You know what I mean? So I would actually still give it to UMV. But this guy, he's third. It's not a bad spot. Let me guys think of him. I'll see you guys in the next one.